congratulations on this film. I mean, I left in pure shock.
Yeah.
I need to know what your first reactions were when you read this script.
Oh, when we read the script, honestly, I couldn't believe what I just read. It was like, I've never read anything like that before. I never get the opportunity to kind of, dive into those worlds. Like, there's not really much things that are written for people like me in those kind of worlds. So I thought it was really, really interesting. I didn't really understand my character at the point that I first read it, but I just felt that the world that was created, all the stuff that's happened, and especially because we lived through COVID and stuff like that as well. It kind of resonated with me. But yeah, it was just really, really exciting, to think that I could be a part of something like this.
Luke?
Completely agree. It was like nothing I've ever read, and in the same way that watching any Ari movie is like nothing I've ever seen, But I was such a big fan of Ari's. Had I read that script and not known who was directing it, I might be like, I don't understand how this becomes a movie. Like, how do you? Because you have no category to put it in.
Yeah.
But I knew since Ari was directing that it was going to be something special. So and he's
Definitely.
like a bucket list for me. So.
Michael, I want to say, your character, Michael, was put in quite this interesting juxtaposition where he's an officer in the midst of BLM. How did you feel playing that other perspective?
I mean, it was definitely difficult, but, it's part of the work. Like, I done research, I spoke to a couple officers. I've got a friend who's an officer, but he was in New York, and it's a completely different thing, obviously, from being in New York, as opposed to a small town, truth or consequences, Eddington, in New Mexico. So, I had to find more local black officers and see what they kind of went through and understand how they felt. And that kind of was what helped me to, understand Michael a bit more, because, initial reactions and initial feelings instinctively might not have got me to the same place. So yeah, I think that's what a lot of the conversation was for my character in the scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah. It really showcases how much COVID kind of changed the path of where the world went following 2020.
Oh my goodness.
And I loved what Ari said, that we have to re-engage with ourselves. Are you hoping that this film showcases how different our realities have become?
Yeah, and I think Ari is completely right. I mean, us all sitting indoors and getting on our phones all day, I think, has impacted our society, since then, and hopefully not forever. Hopefully we all start truly going outside and engaging with each other in really honest ways, and not, these fake versions of ourselves on social media.
Did you find yourself re-examining how you became post-COVID while filming?
Definitely. It made me realize how close we still was to it, and how my experience was in COVID was completely different to someone over in New Mexico or so. But yeah, it definitely made me realize that how I started to think about stuff and how I started to maneuver post-COVID, and I even just that the social media and the fake kind of news throughout the movie, it makes you kind of just second guess everything now as well, which is really weird, because I'm not someone that watches news. I don't go to I kind of get my news from Insta. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm just raw, that might not be real, and that's a kind of a hard kind of thing to battle with.
You both had ample time with Joaquin Phoenix, which is incredible. I've got to ask, what did you learn from him as an actor, and do you have any behind the scenes stories you could share?
I mean, he's, first of all, really generous, really awesome guy, on top of being one of the greatest actors in the world. And, you watch him work and you realize why he's so great, because he works really hard. Yeah. He's there to give absolutely everything he has to this character and to make this movie good. And it's just inspiring to watch. He's never phoning anything in. This guy is working his ass off. And somehow retaining enough energy after all that to be kind and generous to the people on set. So I just was, blown away by him.
Yeah.
Any behind the scenes stories?
No, I don't really have any behind the scene. Story, like, he's just great.
Yeah.
I feel like what I learned from him was just to keep staying alive at every moment. I think it's really important. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, even being here with you guys now, we're just here and reacting to each other, and it should be the same way in a scene. You shouldn't kind of anticipate what's coming and stuff like that. And he always felt so in the moment. And every take, you know, he done differently. And I felt like for me, that kept me, you know, fresh and alive in the scene, and I think that's what I'll take into the future projects.
Present.
Yeah.
And Luke, lastly, I've got to obviously bring up Yellowstone. I mean, we've got a sequel coming. How does it feel to be going back to being Casey? Is there any familiar faces that we're going to see?
You will see some familiar faces. You know, I'm excited to do it. It's going to be year 8 for me playing the same character, which is, who would have thought that I would ever play a character for 8 years? But you know, he's really close to my heart. He feels like a family member, and it would be weird to fully let him go anyway. So I'm glad we get to, you know, reconnect.
And lucky last, I want to congratulate you on becoming a new dad as well. How is it feeling in this first year of parenthood with you and Bianca?
It is getting really fun right now. I say the first few months I was a little worried. I was like, maybe I'm not good at this.
No.
But now, like, all the lights are coming on. He has so much personality, and we're like best buds. So it's all good now.